Welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about something that people ask me a lot these days when I'm reading tarot. And it's I don't blame people for asking me this. I understand why you're asking me this. But it is something that seems to be plaguing a lot of people these days, and I feel like it could be nice to talk about. And that is how to continue on as a good person in this world. How people ask, what do I do with myself in a world that is burning, in a world where the Gulf of Mexico now is suddenly the Gulf of America? Like, how do I navigate this? And what can I do? And of course, tarot cards always say something, depending on what the person needs. But, oh, we have a dog. We have a dog coming. Come on. All right. We always, tarot cards can say what, something about what a specific person needs and whatever is happening in that situation. Great. But we can still get an answer for this, even if we're not reading tarot. And as people in this world, I say to them, you just continue showing up, being yourself, and finding the most authentic way to be yourself. And I promise you that is contributing. Excuse me, I'm still a little sick. That is a way of contributing. That is a way of doing good in the world. And some of you may be watching this and you might say, that's really selfish, that's a really lame thing to say. How am being myself going to solve genocide and, fix the president and all of these things? And I'm not saying it is going to directly. Solving genocide is something that takes mass overhaul. That being said, if we continue to water ourselves down or morph ourselves into what we want, what the government wants us to be, or what the schools want us to be, or what our parents want us to be, or our teachers want us to be, but we just simply aren't, we are not only doing ourselves a disservice, but we are doing society a disservice, because all of a sudden we become people who live in resistance. And when we live in resistance, disease can come up in the body. When we live in resistance, we either just start to numb ourselves with scrolling and watching TV and eating shitty food and maybe even being more reactive to people, because all of a sudden we start to not like ourselves. So if somebody wrongs you, you're gonna react even more than you would if you were coming from a more even place, if that makes sense. Where if you invest in yourself and invest in your authentic self, do the things that you actually want to do and work hard to create the life that reflects who you truly, truly are. No matter what the government says, what this person says, what you were taught, if you learn how to break your ancestral cycles, if you learn how to, get out of your comfort zone, to take the class you've always wanted to take, these small things can, I mean, breaking ancestral cycles is like a massive thing. And if you even just work towards that in your lifetime, in order to become the best version of yourself, you are doing so much, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Because with being our authentic selves in society, in the world, we are able to channel messages and create art that can change somebody's perspective. We are able to communicate ideas and opinions in a correct way, in a way that is correct for us, so that the right people will hear them. And by being our authentic selves, we basically are opening up a door for the right opportunities to come in, for the right people to come in, for the right feelings to come in. And this creates a magnetism, right? This creates this beautiful magnetism that inspires other people to be themselves, that attracts, like I said, attracts opportunities, attracts people to you, might attract money. And with this like beautiful symbiosis that starts to happen between you and the universe, because you start to be yourself no matter what, you do your best in every situation. Again, I'm not saying all of the world's problems are going to be solved, but if everyone starts to create this like field of magnetism around themselves, all the vibration will start to raise. And this sounds so like hippy dippy, but it is work. It is work. Like I said, breaking ancestral cycles is work. Okay. And if in your ancestral cycle, the women in your lineage have just continually sought out toxic people to be in relationship with, and you take it upon yourself to get to the root of it and ask why and heal that wound that created that pattern, then you'll be able to maybe be in a relationship that creates a wonderful family that contributes to the next generation in a way that is very positive and very abundant. In the same way that when you are yourself, you attract an opportunity to you that brings you more money. Now you have more money to donate to whatever cause you want to donate to. Now you have more money to spend on products that you believe in and support small businesses, and you can cancel your Amazon account because you don't need the convenience price anymore. Like, it's all connected to how we carry ourselves and how we exist in the world. Two things. One, a little anecdote. When I was in university, I studied fashion business and then I switched my major to art history. But before I switched my major, I was in fashion business and I took this class, and I don't remember which class it was. I think it was like trend forecasting or something. And my professor, he was one of my favorite professors because he didn't follow the curriculum like at all. Like really just whatever he wanted to talk about in that class is what we would talk about. But it was always relevant to forecasting and what we needed to learn, but he just did it in a way that was so so engaging and interesting. And this is the thing, is like he had such a great effect on me that he was the one who really nailed it in that I only want to buy secondhand or really well-made clothing. Because he would come to class every day and like ask us questions about, do we care about where our clothing comes from? Like, he would ask us real questions instead of just like follow along in the textbook about trend forecasting and this is how you do this and this is how you look at social media. He's like, no. He would go around and be like, who do you follow on social media? Who checks the tags to see where their clothes are made, etc., etc. And this is the thing. This man was truly himself, authentically himself, even in his day job when he was getting paid by like a state school. He said fuck it to the curriculum and did his own thing. And he had a major impact on my life. And this was like 9 years ago. And I still, to this day, mostly buy secondhand clothing or will indulge on like well-made clothing that I see fit. I'm always checking my tags to see where my clothes are made and what they're made from because of this man, right? And if he didn't show up to class authentically himself, then I would still be shopping at fucking Zara. Like, probably. You know what I'm saying? That is what we can do to continue to live in a society that seems to be falling apart, okay? It's like, if somebody gave you 6 months to live, are you gonna spend that 6 months to live sitting in a room being like, oh, I'm so sad, I only have 5.5 more months to live. I can't believe I only have this much amount of time to live. Or are you gonna fucking live it up for the next 6 months and have the best life? That's kind of what this is like, yeah, society is kind of shitty right now. Things are kind of really bad right now. But are we just gonna sit around and like have this external locus of control and be like, wow, I can't make art in this sad time? Or do you see it as an opportunity of like, wow, I fucking hate our president, I'm going to make art about how much I hate him and send it out into the world? Times like these are where all the good art comes from. Like, early 20th century, arguably one of the best periods for art and music and culture, because there was so much shit going on. It was worse than now. I mean, like, it was really, really bad. But some of the greatest artists of our time came from the early 20th century. Because they had some shit to say and they didn't give a fuck what was going on. Or they did give a fuck and they made art about it instead of like sitting inside, I don't know, pouting about it. One more thing and then I'll wrap this up because I feel like I've hit the nail on the head with it. But something that always comes to mind and something I find really moving, but people may think it's too simple. A lot of people disregard it because of the people tied to it. But John and Yoko's phrase, war is over if you want it to be. And I think that this is such a powerful statement. War is over if you want it to be. And with this sentiment, I really think that they meant live a peaceful life, lead a peaceful life, lead by example, okay? Be a peaceful person. Be the person that tips 40% instead of 20%. Help the old lady across the street. You know, volunteer at your local soup kitchen. War is over if you want it to be. You can sit inside. Excuse me. I'm getting really heated. You could sit inside and pout about it, or you can go outside and, you know, get a coffee and be really nice to the barista and have a nice connection, and all of a sudden your community is just a little bit stronger because now you know who the barista is and they know who you are. And if they see you walking down the street while somebody's hurting them in the coffee shop, they can scream and run to you for help. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, war is over if you want it to be. Okay? Just because times are shit doesn't mean you can't do anything about it. That's all I'm saying.